Have you ever wondered what expenses could financially sink you and condemn you to lifelong poverty? In this video, you'll discover step by step which costs you need to keep a close eye on. Additionally, we'll put Robert Kiyosaki's 12 powerful tips in your hands so you can take control of your finances. Join us until the end and get ready to change your life. The key to financial success lies in focusing on generating multiple income streams. We're not talking about just one, but several sources of income. As we educate ourselves financially, we develop an entrepreneurial mindset and come up with business ideas to generate revenue. In the beginning, we need to pay attention to our expenses and where our money is going. A large part of how we think and manage our money comes from our past. In 99% of cases, our journey in the financial world starts with a job and dependence on a salary. But if we are financially smart enough, that job and salary, which for many is a misery, if managed correctly, can generate capital. You can generate capital as a seed to start making profits, doing business, and investing. Therefore, the ideas we're going to explain in this video to reduce expenses could be the beginning of a world full of endless opportunities for you. You just need to learn how to manage your money. These are just a few ideas, but it's your duty to adapt them to your own reality and complement them with your own ideas to make them more powerful. Number 1. Shop during promotions. Many people make the mistake of shopping because of promotions, mistakenly thinking they're saving money. But the reality is that in a promotion, you're only changing who has the money and who owns it. Being rich or poor depends on the direction the money takes. If most of the time money is flowing into your account, then you're definitely on the path to building your own wealth. Number 2. Buy on credit. There's a very popular saying among poor people that goes, "If you never get into debt, you'll never achieve anything." We're sure that few phrases generate as much poverty and economic slavery as this one. The reason this phrase is so harmful is the following. When you buy on credit, you pay compound interest. These compound interests enrich those who receive them and impoverish those who pay them. For those who pay, compound interest represents 2 or 3 times the original purchase price, and for those who receive it, it represents gaining a benefit of 2 or 3 times the original sale price. Who pays and who collects the compound interest determines who gets poorer and who gets richer. Number 3. Buy electronic devices you won't use. Electronic devices are designed to make our lives easier and more enjoyable. But the worst thing a person who doesn't know how to manage their money can do is buy an electronic device they don't need and won't use. Doing this is literally throwing away hard-earned money to buy something that will probably just gather dust in your home. If you buy an electronic device just because it's trendy, because everyone has it, or simply because you want to treat yourself to feel better, and you also buy it on credit, you're adding years of poverty and slavery to your life. Number 4. Buy branded items. Just like buying electronic devices you don't use, many brands don't add value or quality to your life. The only thing they do is triple or quadruple the price of things simply because they are trendy brands. Instead, buy what you need, what is useful to you, or what makes you feel comfortable, but avoid buying things just because they carry a certain brand. I've met many poor and middle-class people who have more money invested in clothes than the bank assets of a wealthy person. Number 5. Spend on cigarettes. Besides the harmful effects on health, smoking also negatively impacts finances. Just do the math with your country's currency. A pack of cigarettes in Spain can cost between 4 and 5 euros. If you smoke, 2 full packs a week, that's 8 packs a month, costing you 36 euros a month on cigarettes. In a year, you'd spend 432 euros. In 10 years, you'd pay 4,320 euros. And in 50 years, you'd spend 21,600 euros. And most people spend much more than that. So the impact on personal finances is much greater than you imagine when it comes to a constant vice. Number 6, go shopping at the mall. No offense, but going to the mall is one of the biggest pastimes of poor and salaried people, especially on payday. Two things happen when you visit the mall. First, you lose time that you could use to read, educate yourself, train, and grow. Second, being in a mall makes you an easy target for impulsive and credit-based purchases, which leads us to the seventh point. Number 7. Impulse buying. Impulse buying refers to purchasing something you don't need just to experience the pleasure of having something new. You might feel important through impulse purchases. The rich keep getting richer because they sell a lot, while the poor keep getting poorer because they buy a lot. Number 8. Having a bigger TV or a TV in every room. Visit a poor person's house, and you'll see a large TV compared to their income level. Visit a rich person's house, and you'll find the largest library proportional to their income. The TV becomes the educational system for the poor and middle class. They are educated through soap operas, reality shows, football, beauty contests, and advertisements, and then they wonder why they earn so little. Number 9. Buy smartphones on credit. Phones have thousands of apps and tools, but 95% of the population only uses them to send messages via WhatsApp, in addition to using them to check Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and take photos. Seeing a person with a minimum wage salary drowning in debt or enslaved in the rat race because they bought a more expensive phone than they could afford on credit is one of the most painful situations to witness. Number 10. Frequent parties and nightclubs daily. Alcohol is much more expensive than food. I'm not saying you shouldn't have fun, but if you don't control yourself and abuse going out to parties and night spots, you're likely never going to have the life you dream of. If we take all the money we spend on events and parties between the ages of 18 and 30 and invest just 50% of those expenses, it's very likely that by age 30, we'd already be rich. Number 11. Buying a new car. Car is a luxury unless you use it to make money. A new car loses about 25% of its value immediately when it leaves the dealership, and after 3 months, it depreciates by approximately 45%. People who complain about poverty and have an employee mindset almost have a heart attack when they invest in stocks and they drop by 45%, but they aren't as surprised when they buy a new car and lose 45% on the insurance. Number 12. Going to restaurants. This tip is especially for the middle class, which is full of liabilities and debt, and spends fortunes frequenting restaurants. If you're someone who eats out a lot, you should know that you're probably letting the goddess of fortune slip away. The reflection of all this is that the rich get into debt to buy assets, while the middle class gets into debt to acquire liabilities and live for appearances, and the poor get into debt to buy small things on promotion. As I've mentioned several times, the focus of our mind is what determines our results. We need to focus on smart spending because wealth and financial prosperity come from focusing on growth. If you don't have an income, you'll spend the rest of your life earning minimum wage and focusing on reducing expenses. However, you'll probably never achieve the desired results. But when you touch your income, when you focus on the ways you have available to increase or diversify your income, that's when you can find true prosperity. The truth is, when we're starting out, when we're beginning our process, when we're starting to educate ourselves financially, that's when expenses are most important, because it's very likely that by reducing your expenses, you increase your saving capacity. Increasing your saving capacity is the original seed to start building wealth. Another discipline that brings many advantages is saving money. This will allow you to seize opportunities, especially if you have the skill to identify them. Saving increases our ability to save, and having capital means having a financial fund. It mainly depends on when we start reducing expenses. Analyze each of the expenses we've just discussed. Consider if you need to maintain those expenses in your daily life. Ask yourself if they're really worth it. Meditate and reflect on whether having those expenses is important for your life, if it's something decisive for you. If not, you probably only have them to show off or to look good to others. and therefore, they add nothing. Most expenses, especially the ones we mentioned earlier, are completely unnecessary and could be considered small expenses. They are very small but frequent and repetitive, and they cause the most damage to our wallets and even more harm to our financial future. A ship doesn't sink because it's split in half. A ship sinks because it has a single hole and water starts to enter the ship drop by drop. That's how ships sink, and that's how our personal finances can also sink. Therefore, if we don't have the necessary financial capacity to seize opportunities, there's no point in educating ourselves financially to invest and trade if all our personal finances are slipping away. If we have many holes and money is slipping through our hands, we need to learn to control our expenses. I'm not saying you should focus only on your expenses all at once. You just need to control those we mentioned earlier, and also those that have gotten out of control. Once you take control of them, you simply need to put all your focus, energy, imagination, and all your intelligence into building income, increasing your income, monetizing your talent, and boosting your financial intelligence. The most important thing of all is to set your income on autopilot, which will allow you to generate income. Put all your energy into this project, but if you feel like your ship has a hole, please, you need to be aware of it, because the money you earn on one side is probably slipping away on the other. Control your expenses, don't be stingy, but control your spending and focus on generating income. Did you find what you learned today useful? If so, give us a like and subscribe to keep receiving valuable information on financial education. Also, share your opinions, ideas, or experiences in the comments section, because we love to know how you're putting these tips into practice. We read every message and are motivated to see how this content is transforming lives. See you in the next video. If you want to start transforming your financial future today, then pay attention to what I'm going to tell you now. Discover how you can start making money in style with the power of PLR. This is your moment to learn how to profit by selling fully ready-made digital products in a simple and practical way. Click on the link that is pinned in the first comment below and take the first step towards achieving the financial freedom you deserve. Seize this opportunity before it disappears. Success begins with just one decision.